This is Vanessa Marshall, Harrison Dula from Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Coffee with Kenobi. I am your host, Dan Zehr, and I'm delighted to talk Star Wars with you. Since May of 2013, I've been committed to creating a positive, family-friendly, spoiler-free place for our Star Wars community. Imagine walking into your favorite coffee shop and joining a lively discussion about Star Wars films, Disney Plus live action, animation, books, comics, collectibles, or Star Wars experiences at the Disney theme parks. I want to bring that sense of community to this podcast, my website, special events, live video experiences, email newsletter, and more. Join our Star Wars community at coffeewithkenobi.com and be part of something special. And speaking of something special, join me and members of the Coffee with Kenobi community on the Disney Wish Disney's Incredible Cruise line that has an actual Star Wars lounge on it, the Hyperspace Lounge. A lot of great opportunities like the Star Wars Cargo Bay for kids, and plus it's a Disney cruise. We're going to have so much fun together, and I hope you will be a part of that. Check out coffeewithkenobi.com/DisneyWish for a no-cost, no-obligation quote from the official travel partner of Coffee with Kenobi, MEI Mouse Fan Travel. The best travel experience is waiting for you through Mouse Fan Travel. On today's show, it is part 2 of last week's conversation. Look, I didn't know how this was going to go, but everyone just absolutely loved it. I've heard so much great feedback. So now I'm going back into the CWK Pour-Over vault and bringing you part 2 of our coverage of Star Wars Disneyland After Dark tied into Star Wars Celebration Anaheim from a couple of years ago. It's myself, Cory Clubb, the co-creator of Coffee with Kenobi, and Tom Gross, longtime friend of the show, former CWK newsman, and another great friend of Coffee with Kenobi. As you may know, CWK Pour-Over is the weekly exclusive show for members of the CWK Alliance. In fact, Coffee with Kenobi is possible because of the members of the CWK Alliance. It is a place to get exclusive bonus coverage from myself, Tom, and Cory as we talk about all different things in the world of popular culture. Yes, there's Star Wars. Yes, there's some behind-the-scenes stuff like what you're going to listen to today. And if you're curious about it and want to find out more, go to coffeewithkenobi.com/CWK Alliance. There are over 250 videos and over 300 Coffee with Kenobi CWK Pour-Over podcasts. And on this show, whenever you get to see a CWK Pour-Over preview, is the only place to listen to this unless you are a member of the CWK Alliance. If you ever have any questions, of course, email me, Dan Z, at coffeewithkenobi.com. So enjoy. There's a lot of laughs, including Tom's first time riding the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. It's a great story. Plus his first time seeing the Millennium Falcon at Galaxy's Edge. So pull up a chair, grab your favorite coffee mug, and have some coffee with Kenobi.
Coffee, tea, or me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's Coffee with Kenobi.
Bright suns or rising moons, depending on when you are listening to this. This is CWK Pour-Over, your weekly exclusive show for members of the CWK Alliance. I'm one of your hosts for CWK Pour-Over, Dan Zehr, joined by Tom Gross.
Hello.
And Cory Clubb.
Hello.
No hello. It's impossible to say hello there because you feel like
I know
the cliche, but you want to say it, and it's just, it's the thing. So we are all Batuians missing our home planet of Batu because we had the best time at Disneyland. Last week you joined us as we talked about the anticipation, the excitement of that theme park and Disneyland After Dark Star Wars night. And we talked about Rise of the Resistance, and Tom seeing the Falcon for the first time. So now, Tom, we're going to give the mic back to you again. I want to hear what you thought about walking into the interior of the ship and seeing the Dejarik table and flying the ship and all the fun that was had. And then we're going to talk about the Haunted Mansion and why I decided to eat a lot of yellow and purple and green cake at Disneyland for some reason.
Yeah, what an oddity. Okay, so I don't know, Cory, were you right? Were you right by me when we walked onto the? Because again, I think I used another. Like I said last week, my first thing I said when I saw the Falcon was, "What a piece of junk," and so I used another line from Star Wars when we walked on, and I said, "Chewie, we're home."
Yeah.
I heard that. I was happy to hear that.
Oh my gosh, how much fun was it walking on to the Falcon itself? That was just magnificent. And walking around the corner into the main seating area, I suppose, where the table, the Dejarik table is, and just the other things, familiar things that you see in the movie, and to go sit down at that table, and we all kind of got around. I think we did a picture of the three of us, and then we got everyone in our group at the table, and just that was so much fun. But man, they were clicking. I'm assuming at all times they're clicking when you get in there. There's about enough time for a picture, and then you're ready to fly. Is that usually how it goes?
Yep,
That's pretty much how it goes.
it is.
They're staying on time, and they're trying to get people to their places. So
What did you think of the interior of it, and just didn't it feel realistic? I mean, even the sounds and the humming as you're walking into the ship's hold itself.
Yeah. I felt like there was a pressure change when you walk in there, and you hear the hum of the engines of the Falcon, and something we didn't mention before was the Hondo Anaka talking to us.
Yes.
And so I did a video of that, and I showed it to my kids, and they were like, "Does that person have to say that every
Oh wow.
over and over and over?"
Yes,
and I said,
do.
"You guys, that is not a person." I said, "That's a robot. That's an animatronic person." And they're like, "What?" Even my wife was a little raised her eyebrows at that. That can't be. I said, "That is a robot." And I said, "Check out what happens back behind Hondo." And you see when the Falcon comes down for landing, and it's that is so legit. It looks so real. You feel like you're there. And the reason I mentioned that is, Dan, to answer your question, when you walk in, it's all the senses. It's your eyes are telling you you're on the Falcon. Your ears are telling you you're on the Falcon. Even like I said, the air pressure changes. You're walking on. Well, I don't know. I don't know that I had a taste of the Falcon. But boy, I sure did smell.
We almost got kicked out. Yeah. So you can't eat that.
yeah, right, sir.
So anyway, even the air pressure in there felt like you're walking onto an airplane or something, at least in my mind. Maybe that was just my mind telling me that I'm going 100% in on this, because I was. How can you not walk into that space and not be 100% in that you are about to fly the Millennium Falcon?
It's insanely charming. So when we got our things, I said we want to make sure that you get to be the person on the right side, which means you get to put the Falcon at light speed. So what did you think of the attraction itself? I love the attraction. I wish the screen in front of us looked a little less hazy. I feel like it could be much clearer. It could be more high def. And I felt that way since the beginning. But
It feels like a video game to me.
Yeah, but it's still the way it feels being in the cockpit, which the story of the lore goes, Hondo had to expand the cockpit to fit more people into it because it's just a 4-person cockpit in the films. But I really think there's nothing quite so special as that door sliding open, you walk in and you put your seatbelt on and you're sitting in the Falcon. You look around, you can push the buttons, you can hear the lights. It's pretty heavenly.
That's the one thing I like about this ride is that you can actually touch and push and twist and do everything as you're waiting, kind of buckling in and whatnot, getting ready. And like you said, I want to know, Tom, did your expectation, walking in, to the cockpit, was it like you said, this whole time it's been kind of surreal, right? I mean, my first time, it was almost like I actually get to fly this thing. I actually get to do this. This is crazy. It almost feels like, I don't know, it's otherworldly almost.
I was nervous.
I can understand that.
I didn't want to crash the Falcon.
Because it does make a difference how you fly, how what he says, and you may have noticed when it was over as we were walking out, the worse you do, the more damage you see in the hallway as you're leaving.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember, Cory, you pointing out that, there's a little damage over there. And there's, so the hall changes based on your flying?
Uh-huh.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I kind of want to do it that poorly sometime to see how bad the hallway can look.
Well, I think you already took care of that. I think you already scratched that itch. No, just kidding. Just kidding. I'm kidding. So how awesome is it? I always like, because the buttons flash green when it's time to do it. It's so great, so truly interactive. But being able to actually put it to light speed is the greatest.
That was the best. That was the best. Because I remember the first time you guys were like, Tom, pull it, pull the lights, pull the hyperspace. And I was like, what? And I was like, and I saw those levers, and I was like, sweet baby James. And I pulled back. And
Are you left and right, and Cory was on the left? Was he up and down? Is that right?
I was up and down, and Cory was left and right, I think.
Right.
Okay.
Does that sound right? Correct.
Yep.
Okay.
That's right.
So left is left and right. Okay.
Pulling that back and
It is.
sitting back and watching yourself go into light speed was absolutely incredible.
It's the best. So you leave and you just feel euphoric and go onto the line again. The queue, being able to see the top of the Falcon and the cannon is super cool. One of my favorite parts about it. But then we decided, then we ate, right? Or did we go to Haunted Mansion first?
We ate after that.
We got something to eat, yeah.
Okay, so we went to this. It was like in the French Quarter area. There's like I don't remember the name of it. If it was Disney World, I'd know the name of it. But they had like a unique menu, and I got some sort of a pasta thing, and you guys got
it was their Star Wars dish.
Yeah, I think I have a picture of the menu. I'm gonna pull it up.
Mustafar or something.
Mustafarian something or other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
it was very, very good. But for some reason, there was this big, giant piece of purple, yellow, and green cake. And so that became like a joke for the next 2 days. Clayton kept randomly saying to me, "What is up with you and that cake?" I'm like, I don't know, because I don't normally just grab cake at home per se, but I couldn't. I had to eat the cake. I needed the calories. And it was really, really tasty.
Eat the cake.
And we saw a lot of our friends there. We saw Amira Martin from. I was in a Target commercial with, so we talked to them for a little bit. Saw some Disney publicists. So it was great. But then it was time to go to the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
And one of the things I will never forget is you saying to me earlier you weren't even sure what the Haunted Mansion was. Is it a ride? And I thought the Haunted Mansion is one of the most iconic things in Disney, period. And Cory, you obviously been on the Haunted Mansion a lot, especially in Florida. How do you compare this one to the one in Florida?
It's pretty similar. I didn't see any noticeable differences from being in the one in Florida.
Oh, there's a lot of differences.
I mean, I remember the line being a little longer in Florida, like getting up to the ride. This one, I feel like we just walked right in. It was like right there. The other thing, a tip if you have got kids, we don't accidentally do anything, but we went and rode the Haunted Mansion at midnight with our kids, thinking like, oh, that's a good idea. This won't be scary. And they were younger, so it was obviously, but we walked in the Haunted Mansion and did that at midnight at one time in Disney World, and they did not. From then on, they're like, yeah, we don't want like this ride. It's not for us. Which is not. It's not a super scary ride, but it's just enough for little kids. They're like, yeah, no thanks.
When you're
it's
little,
creep factor.
There's some major differences in Disney. Oh yeah, in Disneyland, when we walk in and you see those pictures on the wall that are flashing. So in Disney World, you're already on the dune buggy and you go down a hallway and look at those pictures. You're not walking up to the ride itself.
Oh,
that's a pretty serious difference.
Oh,
the Hatbox Ghost in the corner before you go down into the cemetery is only in Disneyland, not in Disney World. Oh. So he's like a legendary thing. At the end at Disney World, when the different ghosts are like hopping around and doing a lot of stuff, in Disneyland it's just the old way. It's just the animatronics going by. There's an extra room in Florida. You also go down steep backwards a lot longer in Florida. I'll point this all out to you next year when we do the Galactic Star Cruiser.
Please.
Yeah. So cool. That'll be fun. But you love the Haunted Mansion, right? How could you not love the Haunted Mansion?
Oh, absolutely. It was so like fun Disney. With the songs and the music and the classic animatronics and all of that. It was just it was a ball. That's how I describe that. There was one thing I wanted to say about it, but
the ballroom where you see everyone dancing and the dinner.
Yes, wasn't that great? Oh, I know what I wanted to ask. Was the ride stopped? Is that intentional, or was there a problem?
No, typically when that happens, they're having to load or unload someone, so they have to slow down the ride as soon as someone is in a wheelchair, and they have to slow it down to help them get out.
It wasn't any problem. I thought it was, we were sitting in a fun spot and lots to look at. I think anywhere would have been a fun spot with lots to look at. But that was just a curiosity that I had was, does it normally stop there or not? So, that makes sense.
Speaking of that ballroom, Amira that I mentioned before, she hosts the official Plan Disney Plan Disney podcast. And about a month ago, they were able to go into Disneyland at that table before the ride opened and record a podcast at the dining room table.
Really?
Wow. Yes. That's
cool.
Pretty insane. So hats off to Amira for that. That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. So from there, we did Indiana Jones. Yeah. And then, that's right, Cory's wearing the hat for those of you watching on News Channel 8 or on the video itself. And also, then we did Thunder Mountain Railroad, and then we went back to Batu. But so
we did the Jungle Cruise.
Oh, the Jungle Cruise. Yeah,
we Star Tours.
We did the Jungle.
Work out so well.
We did the Jungle Cruise after we did Indiana Jones. So we went to Indiana Jones first. This ride, the only thing comparable in Florida is the dinosaur ride at the Animal Kingdom, which is nowhere near as great. The Disneyland Indiana Jones ride is wonderful. It's
wonderful.
I'm sure you didn't know what to think, Tom, or what to expect. What do you think of it?
No, I thought it was so much fun. The best advice I got was from Colby Mead. Right before we got on, he said, hold your arms straight and push your back to the back. And he said, then you will not have a sore back when you're done. Because it is quite a bumpy ride. But that was great advice. I just sat with my back straight up and down against the back. But what was really fun was you see Indiana Jones twice. Or the 3 times?
Three times.
The first time.
Three times,
okay. The first time you see him, you're kind of doing a left-hand kind of turn, and he's standing by a boulder that's looks like he's opening like a passage or something. And I don't know what he was saying, but I was like,
not supposed to look at the eye into the eye of the midnight. And of course, someone does.
That, didn't you, Tom?
Yep. It's your fault. This craziness.
It was me. It was me. But it was just so cool to see Indiana Jones. Like I was like, dude, there's Indy right there. So we go tumbling through the cave. That was a fun ride, most definitely.
They do a good job with that ride to spacing it out. I feel like there's you can go in different rooms and such as the Jeep is going through, and I feel like you're in the middle of a movie, kind of. It's a little jerky, but it's just fun.
Jerky.
You can enjoy it. Yeah, you can enjoy like you're actually on the ride and dodge the darts and look at things overhead and just a lot going on. Massive snake.
Oh yeah.
That creepy room with all those tiny skeleton heads. Skulls.
It's fun. I think it's a great ride. I think it definitely it makes you think of another indie adventure. It really makes you feel like it's set apart from the movies and such, but it still has the indie feel.
It even has John Rhys Davies as Sala as the narrator at the beginning as well.
Yeah. And when you're walking in, when you're standing in the line, you're entering into an Indiana Jones like excavation world. It's super cool.
Yeah, it's tremendous. It's tremendous. The queue, everything about it. I wish. They've said for years how much fun it would be if it was at Disney World. I wish it was. But having a Disneyland is very, very special.
It's unique, yeah.
And then we did the Jungle Cruise just because we could. Because they're, again, for these things, their lines are almost non-existent. Besides the Rise of the Resistance and the Falcon. But it is Star Wars Night, so you would expect that. Mm-hmm. And that was fine, but our jungle skipper, his microphone wasn't working, or I don't know what happened, but I could barely hear any of the jokes.
Yeah, he was hard to hear.
But there's quite a bit in that attraction that's different from the one in Disney World as well, which I think, if you ever want to be bored to tears, I'm happy to explain all the differences there too. That was pretty fun. Then we went over to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, which may be possibly the highlight of the evening for me.
Oh my.
We got on this thing. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I haven't been on a roller coaster in 20, 25 years. And so when we got on this, I was pumped. I was really excited. When we did go to my family did go to Disney World in 1979 to 80. I believe that roller coaster was brand new in Disney World, and I was too little to ride it.
Oh.
But I was so excited about it. It looked like a lot of fun. And for those of you who are going to fact check me, if that is not the ride that was there was another one that had a railroad or something.
If it was Disneyland, it was Space Mountain or the Matterhorn.
Yeah.
Oh.
So no, it was definitely Disney World that I was at. But anyway, so when going up to it, it's that thrill of a roller coaster, and we all get in line, and the car shows, the train pulls up and people get out the other side and you get on. I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And then it goes around the corner, and I don't know what hit me, just the thrill of the movement or whatever. But then you start going up the chick, 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 chick. And I remember I turned to you, Dan, I said, is this a big drop?
Well, I don't know what I said, but I probably was thinking, well, if it is, I wouldn't be on it.
Yeah. So, but that it's such an iconic feel to feel that first hill you climb on there, where the chains are like chunk, chunk,
Click,
chunk,
click,
chunk,
click,
chunk,
click.
chunk, 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 and you get to the top, and it just is like the anticipation of pulling over, and then you can feel the front of the train pull your car forward, because we were toward the back of the train, the back of the train.
Yeah.
And man, you just whip around those corners, and it just struck me. Laughter for the rest of the ride. And I'm sorry for all of those of you around me. It was probably super annoying, but man, I was having a ball.
It was the best.
It was heaven.
It was the absolute best.
It was heaven.
I loved it.
Oh,
It was fantastic. And this the thing too is that this one is different than What Is New World. Another change. They had which did you know about these? Do you know about the change in this one, Dan? Okay.
I didn't. I'd forgotten, so it was really a nice surprise.
How was it
It was
different?
fun because they don't have the cave sequence when you went up and there's the flame cave, and you kind of it goes this kind of second drop. You go up and then come back down. But that was all new.
The track is very different. There's a dynamite sequence that is not in Florida. Yeah, it's really fast. It really whips you around a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, you laughing made it even better, because I was laughing and I was excited. Plus the thrill of, this is very different than what I was used to. It's great. That's the first roller coaster I ever went on, the one in Florida. So it's the perfect speed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It was great. It was so much fun.
And then we decided we better run over to Star Tours. So I made sure that, so LJ, I knew he was in the park, and so he met us over to Star Tours. And this is where Cory, this is when you left, right?
Sorry.
Before Star Tours?
No, we were there.
Did you ride Star Tours?
Yeah.
Okay. Because Ross Halloran was the Rebel Spy, which I thought was super cool.
That's
That
right.
was great. That was so much fun. I had no idea that was a thing.
So fun fact about that, they randomly pick someone to be the Rebel Spy. And that's when Darth Vader is hunting down. But in this one, it was Kylo Ren. And I'd never seen Kylo Ren. There are three. So the thing about this time is there are three different openings. Mm-hmm. There are three different middle sequences. And there are several different planets that you go to at the beginning and at the end. So seeing Kylo there was pretty neat. So I finally have seen all of the different things, because at the end of this, we rode on through the rise of Skywalker, final battle, the battle, the major battle at the end, which was great. But the first time I ever went on Star Tours when they had a different one, it was in 2011, and I was the Rebel Spy the first time I ever went on it, and the next day I proposed to Deanna. So that was a pretty good 2 days.
That's nice. Well done.
Yeah,
well done.
What were you going to say about it?
It was much more thrilling than I was expecting it to be. I kind of thought it was more of a tour of things, but it was more of an adventure than I was expecting. I guess the name Star Tours kind of implies that you're just going. I really thought we were going to fly over Hoth, and here is Hoth, and this is where the Rebel base was.
On some you will. On the Hoth board, you get to fight the AT-ATs. on the Tatooine when you get to do like a pod race sequence. There's a lot of great stuff. There's actually on Disney Plus. There's behind the attractions. There's a Star Wars episode, and it shows you how they make Star Tours. You should watch it. It's pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
No.
There's 12 different sequences, right? Different planets you go to.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Have you been to all of them?
Yes. All like there's like so many different combos. There's like 64 different combinations possible. I think something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe more now. But it's great. It's a classic, and then you get out and you're in a Star Wars gift shop, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Can't beat that.
Nope.
Yeah.
And then is this where you left, and then we all went back to Bad 2?
That's right. It was midnight. Like I fell asleep in the Star Wars Star Tours line for a little while. That's
standing up.
Yeah. Standing up. How impressive was that? Yeah. I took off a little early. I hate to branch off, but my sea legs were calling my bed was calling my name. So
I don't blame you.
Took off and made it back to the hotel.
That was good. And then am I right that we walked, and I'm like, it's sort of weird because at Disney World to get from one side of the park to the other, it takes 20, 30 minutes. Disneyland, it's like 5, 6, 7 minutes. Nothing.
Yep.
Yeah. And you, me, and Clayton went over back to Batu.
Yeah.
And I got the green milk.
And speaking of that, Ross and Colby went to Hyperspace Mountain, Space Mountain, I believe.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So we went. I said, you got to try the milk. So you got the green milk, and what'd you think?
I got the green milk. It took a few sips to acclimate to it, but once I did, I really liked it.
It's great.
I really enjoyed it.
And on the Galactic Star Cruiser, one of the things, you can get all the blue and green milk you want, so you can try them to your heart's content.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I can't wait for that. I have one a day.
It's like you can get sodas and water and coffee and tea and blue or green milk.
It's like the ice cream and the cruises.
Yes, I got the green milk with because I knew there was a combo, so you get a blue milk that was sour, and I should have, or you get the green milk that had some hot sauce. I'm like, I love hot stuff. I took like 3 or 4 drinks. I kept trying, and I could not choke it down. Yeah. It was horrible. Huh. It was horrible. But we actually, in there, we ran to Amira, and we ran to Holly Fry and her husband. Yeah. Took some pictures there. Mm-hmm. You got to do some shopping, walk around the marketplace a little bit. We'd have loved to get you in Doc Ondars, which is like the most wonderful store. But the line there was hours long the entire night because they had the Ahsoka lightsabers again. So we were not able to get you into that. But what do you think of the marketplace?
Oh, it was a lot of fun going in there. A lot of unique things. What was neat was it seemed very authentic to the land. Mm-hmm. You found, it wasn't plush dolls. They were like knit dolls, or I don't know how to describe.
Like Jyn Erso's Stormtrooper in Rogue One.
Stormtrooper, yep, and all those kinds of things. So the marketplace stayed true to the land of Batu, I felt.
Right.
All the cool things we found in there. I didn't end up getting anything there. I thought I was going to. I saw the tank that the Dianaga was in, but I didn't ever. Does the Dianaga disappear?
Oh, we should have did that. Yeah, every 40 seconds.
Yeah,
or something. Yeah. And you push the drink of water and it will pop up.
Oh, I didn't know the trick. Okay, but
when we go to the Star Cruiser, you'll have a lot of time in Batu. We'll take you around.
Cool, but no, it was a lot of fun. Going back now that I know what's in there to shop for, I would probably end up buying some stuff. I thought one thing that I thought was cool that I remember seeing when they released pictures of Batu that I was like, oh, that's neat, and then I sort of forgot about it. Was how when on one end where you enter or leave, they've got the big where they're cooking meat, and it's a giant engine.
It's a pod racer engine.
That is so cool. Yeah. I thought that was really unique and interesting.
Yes, that's where you can get the Ronto wraps, which I've been told that the breakfast ones are even better. And I don't really like sauerkraut, so I'm not a big Ronto wraps guy.
I had the Ronto wraps. Pretty good.
This time or before?
Were they good?
It was during the Rise of Resistance event.
Media tour.
Just hand them out to people.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh. I had one and it was cold. It was like the first, it was like at the media, like the grand opening, and it was cold, so it wasn't as good. But maybe I need to try to get one.
You guys didn't go to Olga's, did you? Olga's Cantina?
For this trip? A few weeks ago? No, it was, you couldn't, we tried, we couldn't get in because you had to get reservations, which apparently you could get, but they didn't tell us that. So had I known. But we'll definitely, again, we're going to Star Cruiser next summer. We are definitely going to go to Oga's. And as they announced at Star Wars Celebration, the different pieces you can use to build your own lightsaber are going to be different. So I'm going to be building a new lightsaber. Corey, you've never done it before, right?
I have. My son Noah did it last year.
But you personally have never done it.
No, I have never done it.
See, all three of us need to do it.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Oh, it's so expensive.
I know, but it's so fun.
Oh, man. I wouldn't mind getting one of the newer ones. That'd be fun.
And then when you buy the kyber crystals in docks, you can change the color of your lightsaber. And it also changes the sound of them, too.
Yep, my son Noah's got them
I
all
didn't know
except
that.
for the purple one. I think he's missing that one. Purple.
Cool. I think that's the only one I don't have to.
And there's also a special white one you can get, which
A white one,
just turns red, kind of. So
No, there's a black one that Mary Purdue and Chaz have been looking for just for Mason, and they got him one, and they gave it. So Mason has a black kyber
that's
crystal.
awesome. You have to,
cool.
you have to ask the counter for you want to basically get a red or a black crystal.
No,
they give you a random red one, don't they?
Yeah, it's red. It's red. You just
Right,
have to hope that you
It's
get
just
a black
hope
one
that
because
it's-
they don't even
exactly.
know because it's
Luck
wrapped
of the
with a
draw.
special kind of a paper around it.
Oh.
It used to be you could hold up your phone and you could see through it to see if it was black, but they figured that out pretty quickly, and so they put like some paper on the inside. So you're either going to get a million red ones or you're just going to happily get a black one. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's fun, but it made me more
cool.
excited for next year for the Star Cruiser, so I can go back to Batuu with you guys.
Yep.
It's the best.
Yes.
Looking forward to it.
So, any last minute thoughts on Disneyland as we wrap things up?
Oh, I guess what I would say is.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Corey.
No. I was just gonna say that I missed the Downtown Disney too. I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit. If you guys see anything special there.
Oh, it was great. I mean, the whole thing, like that Disneyland trip was one of my favorite times I've ever been to any theme park because of hanging out with all you guys. It was just, it was, and there's something so special about being with some of your favorite people in the world at one of your favorite places to be. And Galaxy's Edge is my favorite place to be. So it was very special to me. I'm very glad I got to share it with you guys.
Yeah, I think what I would say is to wrap up is if my family ever decided to want to do one of the parks, Disneyland I think is the way to go for us, because one aspect I really like is that the hotels are all like walking distance, or there are so many
Easy.
that are with walking distance, that there's a lot of variety of different places you can stay. And I really liked that quick one place to the next place to the next place. That transition from one to the next seemed like a lot of fun, or this seemed like you could get where you wanted to get pretty quickly. So, I don't know. Next year when we go to the Star Cruiser, I might change my mind after going back to Walt Disney World in 40 years. So that might change my mind as well. So, but right now where I sit and stand, Disneyland would be where I take my family.
Well, thank you, members of the CWK Alliance, for coming with us over the past few weeks as we reminisce about Disneyland and Disneyland After Dark Star Wars Night. It was a blast reliving it with the two of you and all of you listening and watching, if you are a CWK All-Star. Thank you so much for all you do. Because of you, Coffee with Kenobi is possible. We're happy to give back to you as CWK Pour-Over, but you get to give back because 10% of your monthly contributions go directly to the St. Jude Children's Hospital. So on behalf of myself, Tom Gross, and Cory Clubb, we will see you next time. Who's going to say it?
Punch it, Chewie.